got a lot going on, folks. I'll tell you all about it.
Walking down the street for the first time feels like the day we met. Raining in the valley like most of the time. Such a memory I can't forget. Once a heart has fallen, it's a long road. Catching up with feelings left behind. Like holding your hand when I'm afraid. Like the strangers we've left behind. Let's take a journey through this life. Make our paths straight and true. Follow the star that points to the north. It leads us to what we have to do. It leads us to what we have to do.
All right, thank you for joining. Just to let you know what's going on. I like that song. But it's gotta go. Bye-bye. All righty, let's check the chat here. Okay, hello, Charity. Thank you. What do you mean you have your own YouTube? I have my own YouTube. That's what it means. Hello, Leslie. Thank you for joining. Been a while. Looks like these trolls, they just simply lost it. So I think everything's going to return to completely abnormal. Well, whatever that was before. Yeah, I have my own YouTube channel. YouTube, the entire website, commercial run. It's something that I was, my original concept was inclusive of. I wanted to provide a place for all the auditors and things with that, like that, without the discrimination and the censorship. And last night was the final handover. Someone's already made a WordPress. They got commercial server. It's not served at their house, so I have bandwidth so I can handle, 5,000 viewers at one time. And the entire site's mine in order to work with. Okay, there's other people. There isn't a single occupant of this site yet, though. Not one single. There we go. Coffee. Hot, 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 honey. Hot. Hot. Ouchies. Ouchies. It's hot. Yes, it is, Luna. Very hot. First time she ever got up to the coffee machine to take a better look at it when it's making funny noises at her. So she had to investigate that. So yeah, the original idea was that not only did we provide a 24-hour broadcast, much like YouTube doesn't. They don't provide anything. They just let the users do it. And what we're doing is a little bit different. We're going to have a main broadcast, a 24-hour broadcast, and then everyone that's a member of the site is competing in order to be in that broadcast. Rather than your channel standing alone or virus or anything, viral, all this other thing, forget it. We have a full rack TV station that if your show is good enough, you get placed into the main stream, the main 24-hour stream. You get featured that way. There is no YouTube quote viewer payments. I have an idea of how to make it so people can make money traditionally like they made YouTube, but unfortunately the part that says making money, it doesn't make any money, folks. A penny on a 1/10 of a penny for a hit, come on. Okay, you're just not going to go anywhere with that. So the monetization is going to be instead awards, okay, for having got on the higher brackets. There's a total of 3 brackets. There's going to be a YouTube set up. Each one of them is going to be similar to each other, but they're going to be dedicated to each town. And then it's going to be a safer platform. First of all, it's enforceable. Anybody goes off the hook or becomes a real troll or anything like that legally, it'll be enforceable locally. It'll be much like CB radio. You got somebody smarting off on the CB radio. Yeah, I know where he is, blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows the guy in town. And guess what? I was given access to the entire platform, dude. And again, I wish it was, TrueTube, because all that work had been done already. And just, taking that and put it together with the other parts, making it that much larger. But by the time I get done, this here is going to have elements of Facebook. Your chat is going to be on your home page again, like the old YouTube. I don't know if you noticed that they stopped allowing you to host, let's say, a featured video and then a list with your chat directly below that. Well, we're going to go back to that format because the reason why they stopped that is there's too many people that could compare information directly right there without connecting anything and get direct feedback rather than just on that video. In this, you'll be able to comment on the video and you'll be able to comment in regular chat on the main page. So you sign up, you get your page, you have a chat at the bottom of it, you have your featured video, you have a right panel that you can choose 5 or 6 or make a playlist on the right panel, Okay. On the left panel will look pretty much like YouTube did, not does. And flow of the channel is going to be a lot different. So finally, this marketing for WDRN is what's doing it, folks. When I went down to Tesla Tech, one of the biggest things, everyone has something to say. The problem is they have no place that they can say it. And that's what tripped the balance here. The fact that somebody was already prepared, marketing, all they had to do was just have the, logistics behind them, and the rest of it's marketing. I've got that. That's what I do. And yeah, there's no stopping it now. It's not going to be stopped. In 2 weeks, it's going to be locked down so hard, it won't even require me. Oh, well, yeah, YouTube has faded away. I agree, YouTube has faded away. Why? Because they tried to sit there and go commercial, and not really commercial. What's a good description? Stupid. They tried to go stupid. You okay there? What did the kitty cat do? Did the kitty cat get you? How you doing today? You doing good? Hmm? My good boy Sport. You want to get up here so the kitty cats don't get you? You can, You can get on my bed. I'm not sleeping in it. He doesn't like sleeping with me. I toss and turn too much at night. But when I'm done sleeping, he doesn't mind taking over anything. So, absolutely. That's not what I said. YouTube hasn't faded away. Yeah, I noticed YouTube hasn't faded away. What has faded away is people's enthusiasm. They want to keep things to themselves instead of share it. They want to control everything themselves. And that's not how you run these platforms, man. You have to let the user determine how the platform is used. And that's what we're doing. Okay. Yeah, it has faded away. Look at all the censorship. Look at how many people are going to other platforms in order to talk. There's quite a few platforms out there, but there's not going to be any of them that's anything other than standalone of what we have now. This is completely different. This is a full stage. Have no idea. I just got the whole thing last night. There is a little bit of work to be done on it yet. Just a second, I'll find it. Huh, just a second. This must be in yesterday's. Last night late. Yeah, it was last night late. Just a second. And that ain't right. Here we go. No. Give me a second. I've been doing a lot of research. It's buried. There it is. Welcome to Freedom Nation TV. Everything's here. It works. About. Channels. Embed code. Freedom News. This will all be occupied. We're getting things going. Like I said, I don't think there's any but maybe 1 or 2 videos on here just in order to put it here. And of course you have a profile that you can set up. I'm going to see if we can make it so the user can create their own header and stuff like that as well for their channel. See how that goes. But again, those are small little things. To be so determined. Slightly out of order there for your sentence, but yes, I am that damn determined. I've been working on this for the last 4 years, and this saved me about $6,000. And 3-4 weeks of effort, and the timing is perfect. The timing for this to have been given to me, the promotion, the marketing, is awesome. And we're going to have internal programs where you're not getting, like I said, pennies, you know, 1/10 of a penny or anything like that. We're going to make it so you can actually go out and sell advertising in your channel. Oh, to be determined. I'm sorry. I got you. Yeah. No, I don't know how fast this is going to go. I don't do this programming. Okay? I did try. I tried 4 times over a period of 2 years. I sat down for a better part of 30 days working with it. It just simply wasn't compatible with what I was working with or the server type I was working with. Not yet. But there's another server that's being set up. I have a server going up in Hawaii. I have a server going up somewhere near Las Vegas. And then I have a server here that's planning on going up. Florida. And what else? There was one other. So we're gonna have the essentials for bareboat operation under this marketing, nonetheless. And this ties in everyone else's business. You start your own business, you go out, you get a computer. By the time anybody in this show probably starts doing this, there might be a buy-in. But right now, there isn't. Philippines would be a great place for this in order to work if Charity's still here. Well, and this is something that, this is the end I have. I can set the computer up to be, you know, WDRN Philippines, and then Charity can sell advertising directly in the Philippines, but we're going to have to adjust advertising price and cost in order to match the economy. We have music. There's a lot of music that's coming out of the Philippines that are really leading edge. It makes some of the cartoon character rock and roll Japan stuff look bad. I'm not joking. So we'll be recruiting along all of these lines, any of these locations, whether you're a band, whether you're a First Amendment auditor, whether you're just a skateboarder in the park and you want to make videos about skateboards. We're going to be taking everyone's channel as they get established and get a few videos in there. And for promotion, we're going to put their channel on our first page. We're going to have different videos edited together. Each video will lead to their channel, whether it's on Freedom Nation or actually hosted on YouTube. We're not abandoning the use of free services like YouTube. So you'll have multi-platform with us rather than a single platform. You will have your own home where if you are Veritas, you'll be able to broadcast there without a problem. A matter of fact, I might reach out to Veritas to see if they want us to do hosting for them on a platform like this. That's exactly what it's for. Veritas, the different platforms that have had to create standalone web pages just for their own content, and that puts them right back into running their own little private channel and have to market again. Well, you won't have to do the marketing if you sign on to this, because we do the marketing internally. And ERS International Corp is the owner of the domain. Very good, dude. Very good. So yeah, that kind of information is not difficult to get. But nonetheless, I don't think you're going to be able to shake me out of this one, folks. Not at all. Yeah, I know. Isn't that strange that everyone has to get their own site and then try to sit there and figure out how to advertise that site instead of it just being there and accessible for everybody? You actually have to tell somebody afterwards, huh? And Veritas doesn't have any advertising to tell. So basically what they're doing is they're just kind of going off of the search engine and what notoriety they can get from other sources, right? This was all generated internally, and that makes a huge difference. Okay, now ERS International is just one of the companies that I'll be working with, and they're tying everything together for WDRN. That's what the difference is. Been waiting for this forever, folks, and now things are happening for real. Hey, it's only been 4 years I've been working on it. I ought to have some progress, right? This is J.K. Haverson right here on WBUM. Give me a second here. Look around here.
Baby, the last time that I saw you, you were wearing a bright green dress. It was New Year's Eve on the bayou, a night that I'll never forget. There were fireworks after sundown. The town really put on a show. You and I stayed in the park, and everybody else headed home. Well, baby, your love, it's just like a drug. No matter how much, it's never enough. I go to sleep and I keep dreaming of my favorite kind of love.
Evidence. Can't have one without having the other, and it's illegal.
Picked out a spot on the field.
Oh my God, folks.
Laid down a blanket for two. Sat down and started strumming.
You just need cuddle.
You have your favorite tunes.
Cuddles.
You started singing
I'm not
along.
gonna leave my lap until you.
I started tapping my feet. You said you had something to
got a
show
purr out of
me.
you. It's so hard to get a
Felt
purr
my
out of
heart
you.
skipping
Purr all the
a
time,
beat.
you can't hear it.
Baby, your love, it's just like a drug. No matter how much, it's never enough. I go to sleep and I keep dreaming of my favorite.
And you're just gonna play dead cat, liquid cat. I don't want to go nowhere. I become a liquid. Yes, I do. You are not illegally allowed to know what variant may have gave you what they want to claim is COVID-19, but guess what? It could be the common cold, it could be COVID-19, it could be the Delta, it could be something completely different, and they're claiming that they can't give you that information. That's inverted, folks. What's happening here, they cannot identify what you got. And that's what the problem is. Most people in COVID-19 in the U.S. are legally prevented from knowing that they were infected, what they were infected with. That's a legal impossibility. This here is, oh, well, we don't know and we can't tell you we don't know. The word is sequencing. Okay, so listen to this carefully. That's because sequencing tests have been federally approved for results to be disclosed to doctors or patients. But that's exactly opposite of what they're saying, because if the doctor have to be federally approved. So here's the problem. They have a vaccine that they don't know that they're giving you a vaccine for the what? That would match what? Ladies and gentlemen, do you have any idea how many different coronaviruses are out there? Let's look it up. Okay, common cold causes: coronavirus, SVZ, rhinovirus, WebMD. I don't think I can have any problems with this one. I mean, covering this topic is rather difficult. What is causing my cold? You know the drill. Your throat feels scratchy, you sneezing, coughing, and pretty soon you're in the grip of a nasty cold. To add to insult to injury, all that big-time misery is from a tiny invader, a living thing called a virus. It is not living, it's a virus. It's not just one you need to dodge. There are more than 200 that can lay you low. 200 of them. It's likely that someday you'll have, wait a minute, after 10,000 years we only got 200 of these damn things? That's it? And maybe our immunity from, number one, by the time we get to 200 is needing to be boosted, and we get that sick again. That sounds like it. After, a generation, you go through 200 of them, and a generation goes through 200 of them, we've got immunity for it, and then it starts over kind of again, huh? That way we get it every single year. It's likely that someday you'll have a close encounter with one of these types: the rhinovirus, the coronavirus, RSV, or the perennial influenza. There are also a lot of viruses that doctors haven't identified. About 20 to 30% of colds in adults are caused by unknown bugs, viruses. How and when they strike. Cold viruses have a lot in common, but each type has its own style too. Rhinovirus is a bunch that is most active in the early fall, spring, and summer. They cause 10 to 40% of colds. You'll feel plenty miserable when you catch one, but the good news is they rarely make you seriously sick. Coronavirus. These tend to do their dirty work in the winter and early spring. Why have we had so many breakouts during the summer then? The coronavirus is the cause of about 20% of colds. Now, I will tell you that's not listed here. Coronavirus is actually between the coronavirus and rhinovirus. That is the mainstream, 90% traffic there. Out of that traffic, the coronavirus is a little bit more, there's a word there, it starts with a P, but more common than the rhinovirus, just to let you know. They cause about 20% of colds and are more than 30 kinds, but only 3 or 4 that affect actual people. So if you actually get a coronavirus, apparently it is something that your immunity can forget about. You get a little bump on it, okay? What is not causing your cold? Well, the U.S. government. People's verbal claims that, lab scientists say the process of validating the test for approval is too costly and time consuming. So out of 200 different variations, they can't tell you which one you have. And the sequencing that they're referring to is isolating the virus. Well, they still haven't isolated the virus, and there's another legal reason for that. It's already patented. This virus is patented. It's already known that it's patented. It's well known that it's patented. There's no striking me because it's patented. You just simply go to the patent office and look it up. When you look up the date of the patent, then I guess we start to have problems. This is Blue Harvest right here on WDRN. Thank you for joining. We will be cutting 2-hour sweeps for Freedom Nation TV as well, probably this afternoon. So if you enjoy some of the music, we're going to be actually creating new stingers and bumps for Freedom Nation TV. It's freedomnation.tv. So stick around. We got a lot more information coming up, and I'm only discovering some of it myself. I am very excited about what's going on. I'm going to do something stupid, I guess. There we go. And I'm going to open up the chat in the background so people can ask questions about this. The first time I've had a series of breaks that all this is going to happen. No joke, it is happening right now. So if you want to join, ask questions about this, ask questions about where we're going, and oh, by the way, whether or not we're still going to have our morning show and things of that nature might be appropriate questions. Also, Beyond Undisclosed. Beyond Undisclosed, if you notice, does not have a lot of the videos and the morning shows anymore. I'm going to be moving that. Necessity, because Beyond Undisclosed needs to be just Beyond Undisclosed. And, well, basically, I need to find a new place for my morning show. Okay, so even though I might be broadcasting it here, it won't be staying here. We're going to be moving that probably over to Core Belief. Anyway, so if you want to ask a question, you can join. Back room is open. This is Encaged. No, I don't want Encaged. Well, maybe. Depends on whether it's that mellow song that they play. Let's find out.
Laying down inside my bed, I hear this voice beside my head.
Oh, this is cool.
That can't be real, telling me who he might kill. Laying down inside my bed, I hear this voice beside my head. Saying that can't be real, telling me who he might kill. Who he might kill. My girl! Cross on the back of mine. We're mine. Cross on the back of mine. With me, broken thoughts and twisted dreams. Can you hear beyond my screams? Now that now without no sound, is this truly him I found? Broken thoughts and twisted dreams. Can you hear beyond my screams? Now that now without no sound. Cross on the back of mine. We're mine. Cross on the back of mine. With me. Yo, can't try to mess with me. With me. Can't really feel my pain. Can't really feel my pain. Can't really feel my pain. My pain. Can't try to mess with me. With me. Can't try to mess with me. With me. Can't try to mess with me. Mine. Can't try to mess with me. Mine. Can't try to mess with me. Mine. Painted faces upon my wall. Evil demons from his call. Choking just to from disgrace. 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 Can't try to mess with me. We're mine. We're mine. With me. This is now with that with that. Now it's happening again. Now I see this evil cloud stopping me from coming down. All these images reappear. Back here in this house of fear. In this fear I almost drown. Get the fuck up. Get the fuck up. Coward ass bitch can fuck with me. Clowns come to fuck with my family. Coward ass bitch can fuck with me. Clowns come to fuck with my sanity. Why don't you fucking die? Why don't you fucking die? Clowns gonna fuck with my family. 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 Die.
All messed up, huh? All messed up. That's all right. Yeah, I'm rather excited about this. I've also got my host that called me this morning. I decided in order to let him go for today, he has some family matters to take care of. And that's coming along rather nicely. We spend quite a bit of time gabbing, and the gabbing that we did was that of a show. I mean, The problem is he's fairly new to being on the air. And privately, dude, we just mock. I mean, it's there. The formula, the chemistry, if you want to call it that, is coming together. The people that I'm working with is coming together. And you know what? There's a lady that's out there that's knocked her ass out for me. Name's Marianne. And you know something? I might call her right now. Let's give her some good news. And friends in code, there's no reason not to have another platform like this. I apologize, but yeah, the marketing and the platform need to work together. And when I was considering doing, that, I tried to explain to you, that this has a, an output, a final, a growth due to the market. Hello again, Gray. Are we doing the, all right, we've got Gray again. All right. But originally, I was hoping that he would be doing this. That way I don't have to monitor or take care of it. We have somebody that works exactly doing that. Let's see. So that's what kind of went wrong with the program here, is because I couldn't get the elements online. Now I've got one of the biggest elements online I was trying to do, which was the highest expense. Oh, and I've got Cat. Don't I, Gray? Have I got you? Oh, and you're happy about being got, aren't you? Uh-oh, they're not going to answer. So I'll be...
Please leave your message for 2.
Let's see here. I don't want to talk to him yet. I'll leave it at that for right. What was that? Okay. Well, it's going to be neat. Man, you have got nodules that need to come out, kid. I found your scissors. I found the scissors I could take them out with. Yes, I did. Tiny scissors. Little snip, 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 instead of taking great big globs of hair out. Yes, you are, you long-haired freak. Yes, you long-haired freak. You get knots in your coat all over the place, don't you? Yes, you do. We can give you a butt scratch. Oh, I like my butt scratching. Okay, there you go. There you go. All right. Yeah, try to get rid of him. He just turns into a liquid cat, and he's somehow stuck to your hand. I don't know how he does that. But anyway, yeah, I'm very excited about this. By the way, you know that StreamYards is open, right? Go ahead and join. No reason not to, free thinker. Right? You got questions? Guess where the answers is? Right here. Oops, how did I do that? That didn't work out well. God bless this mouse. I have to take my extremely expensive mouse. You get one of these damn ergonomic mice, like this one. Has a cord on it. It has a cord on it. It's $100 more than anything that's battery operated. Go figure. Okay. The switch. The left switch for this. I have another one which is a wireless one. And I need to take the switch out of that and put it in this one. Then this one here behaves. Clean up the little roller or the wheel. so the wheel works a little bit better. But I mean, I don't have time in order to tear something apart to that degree right now. I just don't. Don't have any place for all the small parts. And then there's another thing going on, if you care to be really curious. Liability, we don't have any. Okay? I've already taken care of the legal. I took care of the legal for this, 4 years ago. Okay? Everyone's responsible for whatever they publish. As the display is concerned, we're not responsible for anything. Okay? That's hosted or posted. And that person cannot be taken down due to the normal bullshit, because there's actually no law that would allow them in order to actually remove that after you have joined the forum. No, I went back to the telephone regulations, and basically there's a thing called free access. We are listing ourselves not as a content provider, but as a connection provider. Changes the entire legality of it. I doubt it. But as far as the liability is concerned, there's going to be a lot of people that are able to basically lie, steal money, not finish their job and get the advertising going, things of that nature. And these people that choose in order to do business in that fashion are going to see the law direct in their face. The liability of the company, however, is perfectly protected. Perfection at its best. As a matter of fact, you want to sit there and say that you can sue Remington or Colt because somebody took one of their devices and illegally operated it and caused a death of somebody else. Well, if that's the case, how about if we hold the U.S. Treasury, which is a private corporation, responsible for all the deaths due to the fact that people have greed? How about that? Same logic. Oh, but we no, you can't do that. Well, then you can't do it to anybody else. After all, what did you pay in order to get that gun? You had to use what? Cash in order to get that gun. Most of your crimes are based on cash. So isn't the Treasury Department responsible for the use of whatever their product is being converted to illegal use? You see, when they sit there and they do these things, it's real easy in order to actually apply that to anything else, and then it falls apart. Because the logic is very specific, named in order to destroy someone else's narrative specifically along that line, especially when they're trying to abrogate your rights. See here, every new endeavor is different. You have to have things like liability address when it comes to the endeavors, or you will be getting, well, no. Again, you didn't hear me. I worked this out 4 years ago. Liability, pay schedules, direction of money, what compensation people that are contributing to the website are getting, how that is collected, in what definition this money is collected. So those definitions have already been determined, and I'll give you a clue. It's called a subscription. The legalities of a subscription are completely different than the legalities of a sale or contract. The performance in order to provide is described differently under a subscription than it is as an advertising sale. Or did you just suddenly forget I had 20 years dipping into the law in order to sit there and work this out? You could try to adopt what you had 4 years ago to your new endeavor. No, it's the same endeavor, but it still requires an overview. Well, I agree, but I'm not going to sit there and give you how these parts interact, because that's something another company is going to be able to easily duplicate. It's not something I can copyright as a method of doing business. What we're doing business with, I can copyright or trademark. This company is designed to create its own competition. Even if you have competition with our product, you're actually giving us money for that product in order to be able to compete with us in that product. So no matter how you slice it, you're going to be, cornered to this, because you're not going to be able to get your own friends in code. These people that Bao, he's not going to get friends in code. We've got 100,000 subscribers with Alien Scientists. Do you think he's going to go out and find somebody in the expertise of friends in code? Then you're going to need somebody like me in marketing, staging, direction. And then you're going to need somebody that actually takes my information and actually goes out and executes that in the field. They have to know how to set up sound. They have to know how to set up cameras. They have to know how to set up a live feed remotely. They have to know what pipelining is. So you're talking about a lot of different skills that has to be brought together under one roof. And basically that's what my 4 years has been. I've been trying to actually learn these other subtopic skills. Now, I may not have them down perfect, but if someone sits there and gives me a line of bullshit, I know damn well they're not doing their job, or they are. Because I actually trained in, or tried to train in myself in order to do some of this. And when it gets a little bit too complex, too much time consuming, I've moved on to learn the next task. Considering the company has been sitting on the cusp, had the mechanics, but you don't have a driver, you don't have fuel, you don't have a driver, you don't have the carburetor on, and it's been sitting there for 2 years. You're absolutely right. Now we can take it off. Now we can actually do something with it, because I got news for you. Stream Life has more than one of these, and you're not looking at the entire thing. There's a huge mechanism behind it, ready to support it, but there's nobody to support. That's my job. That's where I come in. Okay, that's where we reverse the marketing from national to local and start drawing people like Eric Brandt specifically for the Colorado broadcast. We have people like Eric Brandt, Defend, that are featured, that their work is not being thrown away. We clip out the Howard Stern, and we, for our advertising purposes, we clip out the Howard Stern and promote them. You see, I've found advertising. Do you remember Yahoo? How long they sit there and advertise that in order to get Yahoo populated? And Yahoo originally was what? They had no idea. It was a chat program. It was a video streaming program. it was games, it was everything. But the only thing that they were advertising was what? Search engine. They had to dominate with the corporate agenda. They had to dominate the search engines, which opened the door for Google, because that's all Google did. Which eventually what? Replaced Yahoo search engine, because Yahoo search engine is cooperative with the well, there you go. They standardized and bastardized, okay, all this is coming back, dude. It's coming back under one platform. That's what my job is. That's how this works. It's all under one platform, just like everything is under Google. The only difference is whether or not it's corporate driven, okay, or it's individuals just simply contributing. The difference is top to bottom versus bottom to top marketing. And I think that I can saturate advertise right here in town, okay, a band that only is going to play on a Saturday night and still get 500 to 600 people waiting at the door. I think I can manage to make every single one of them flyers nearly an 80% attendance for those flyers rather than a 20% attendance for a show. Yeah, since it's on the internet, absolutely. You have to boil it down to local, man. You have to boil it down to the people that you actually have contact with. And, well, regardless of what their opinion was, they're going to have to wake up. And I'll be honest with you. Friends and Code is serving this directly out of his home in order to try to save the money for corporate level connections. I've got corporate level connections with this. TrueTube is almost gone. Nobody's using it. Just internal people, just the immediate click is using TrueTube, and that's a shame. I think that TrueTube can be absorbed into this program like the board. He can still run it, it's just that we help him run it. Okay? I've been working on this too long. People want to sit there and do a 5-second fix. It's not going to work, man. 5-second overnight things are not going to work because we're working on a larger battlefield. We're working on a longer scale, and these people have all the time in the world in order to sit there and get you to agree to be, well, muzzled. They can get you to agree to be muzzled. Nobody's going to join here for StreamYards. You got 5 minutes and I'm closing the StreamYard because I can't be playing around with all this bandwidth. You got 5 minutes, people. If you don't join StreamYards, I'm killing it. In addition to that, if you notice I'm back in the bus, I've got a place to stay. I just made arrangements last night. I'm trying to get a hold of people today. As soon as they get back with me, I've got a place to rent now. 5 cats, dog, bus, and all. Taking a while. Hoping for the best, and there may be a move by the end of the year still. Afterwards. But my immediate needs until spring are taken care of. Something I wasn't able to manage up until recently. Very happy about that. Let's get rid of one of my annoyances here. Get rid of that. But yeah, I was in a cluster fuck. There ain't no other way. You can't say cluster freak and anyone understand. You got to use the actual word for that one. But I was in a complete clusterfuck this morning. Okay, we had our co-host call in, and I let him go for this morning because I just can't get my mind around everything that happened last night. I've got follow-up phone calls this morning. However, the concept is accepted. I've got 3 major outlets that are considering it. One of them has carte blanche. They have carte blanche. I don't. So if they feel that this is something that is exciting, worthy, and continuing, that's what's going to happen. And there'll be payroll rather than just an investment. Okay? Instead of a donation, they're actually going to be taking over and providing things like payroll and stuff like that. And they don't know the structure of the payroll yet, so that's going to be fun when they realize that they don't have this huge $100,000, 3 employees part-time expense in order to try to sit there and work out, and that the investment is boiled down to probably less than $10,000 overall for an initial start. No, these guys are going to be all over it because this platform is created to be self-generating, self-healing, dependent. Its dependency is only in the technical field. So my company, which is WDRN, provides all the technical support for these other companies. And that's where the division is. There's sales side and technical support, and then there's the actual contributors. There's only two things, and they are kept separate. So the liability, let's say someone comes in and makes, I don't know, I can't think of anything so objectionable that they've ever censored and banned, okay, other than some really deep cryptic stuff, like the Illuminati stuff, and that would be, how to make your own slave, things like, no, I'm not going to allow that. I'm going to classify that just like pornography. But yeah, these people are actually coming together, and quite honestly, I'm not organized. I'm not organized in order to be able to coordinate this quite yet. The house, having a place to stay, it's going to make a big difference. I've been spending the last week getting everything prepared for winter in the bus, and I'm still going to have to winterize the bus and everything like that. But now that I have my own place, the cats and everything, it's not going to have to be anything more than standard winter, to winterize it standardly. Put, anti-gel in the tank, maybe have a small heater, so, if some of my pipes on the inside have a little water in it, they're not going to have a problem. Okay. I've located my pipe. Yes, it's a big one. It's bigger than a hula hoop, but there's my pipe. This is something that has annoyed me since the day I got the bus. I actually bought this pipe over 3 years ago. I finally found it in order to replace a pipe that goes between the hot water heater and the bathroom. And I've got a visitor. Come here. Good girl, Luna. How's my Luna? Anyway, I finally found it. And the only thing I need is 2 little fittings. Oh, I get kisses from my Luna. See, I'm loved. I got my love. I got all the love I need right here, don't I? Yes, I do. Alright, so no one's going to join the StreamYards. I'm not going to keep it up. Uses bandwidth, don't you know? Alright, let's see here. I'll be honest with you, I just want to rock for a second. I need to get my mind about what's going on here. Ooh, good one. Stick around, we've got more news. I haven't even, well, actually we don't, so I better get it going. We got another half hour, 45 minutes of the broadcast.
She seemed dressed in all of me, stretched across my shame. All the torment and the pain leaked through and covered me. I'd do anything ever to myself, just to have her for myself. Now I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do when she makes me sad. Everything to me, the unrequited dream, the song that no one sings, the unattainable. She's a myth that I have to believe in. All I need to make it real is one more reason. I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do when she makes me sad. But I won't let this build up inside of me. I won't let this build up inside of me. I won't let this build up inside of me. I won't let this build up inside of me. I catch in my throat, choke, torn into pieces. I won't, no, I don't wanna be this, but I won't let this build up inside of me. I won't let this build up inside of me. I won't let this build up inside of me. I won't let this build up inside of me. Build up inside of me. Won't let this 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 build up inside of me.
Many of you may have seen this Mysterioso craft in a video flying on its own power. This is some of the electrogravitics that was being covered at the Tesla Tech. And this gentleman's Russia. Whoops, I've got cat again. Hello, Thunder. Yeah, they're taking advantage now that the computer is in here. It's like, oh my God, he's here. We can sit there and use him for scratching post, and we can use him for a bed again, and all sorts of things. So I'm getting all the attention now. Nonetheless, this here video shows that this is self-sufficient. It flies, and it's not a joke. It really is not a joke. The problem is duplicating it. Until we can actually have a duplication of these wonderful flying machines, till we can actually publicly duplicate them, they're not going to be available, folks. It's going to be, oh, that doesn't exist. No, these things definitely exist. We have electrogravitics with Russell Anderson that we've proven. We have this that we're in the process of proving. Okay? No taking away from what he's accomplished. But, unfortunately, again, he's in where? Russia! I wonder what a Russian keyboard looks like. I actually have the number 6 in here. Probably a name. Something 6 something, you know. But nonetheless, I mean, I wonder what their backward R. I wonder, you know, what their actual keyboard looks like. Never seen one. You know what? Got internet right here. Let's see what a Russian keyboard looks like. Oh, they have a 2-piece keyboard for Russia. Look at that. A lot of these are similar. Isn't that great? They don't have enough room for standard wow. A lot of it's same. The K and the R's, obviously. E mixed with Y. A mixed with F. Look at that. They completely randomized their keyboard as well. You know, I mean, you have your greater than with your colon at top, and then we have the colon over here depending on which mode of the keyboard, huh? I can't imagine sitting there typing in English and accidentally hit the wrong button and then go into Russian and vice versa. I expect it's probably easy to do with these keyboards, huh? You get a BL instead of an S, or a B instead of a D. You know, they could have actually kept those letters where they are, especially since they're duplicates. Or maybe they're phonetically arranged here, I don't know. And H is pronounced as a P there, maybe. Could that be possible? Don't know. Interesting thought, though. Never thought to look. Anyway, this device has been around for quite a while. Rotating magnets along with high voltage. And again, it's speculative to believe that this here would have connections with the Vermana, which they're showing here. There's the Vermana. You know, I almost can make heads or tails out of that. I wonder if these are ion emitters. And then on one of these floors to have the opposing magnets the way they do in the rotating magnet mythology. It's very possible that all that equipment could have been located at the top here. And these are used as waveguides in order to stabilize it and expand the wave to have a nice footprint to balance on. Now, he had a response from one of them that the only thing he could do is tip it over. It's because the effect was directed downward and too small of an area. It was like, you know, a pencil sticking out of it, just pushing, rather than, you know, a nice flat pedestal, okay, that it could stand on. And the only thing he was able to do is make it tip over, but the effect was there in order to tip it over. His name is Alexei Chekurkov. in Russia. And I have been invited informally right now in order to be part of the American effort in order to duplicate this. Here he has his helmet. We don't know why he built his helmet. Now, we do know that obviously that's something that he's using. It's not showmanship that he has this space helmet that for some reason he's found reason to create and wear during operation. That means that we may have a either a range that the frequencies are dangerous, that we're actually beginning in those beginning frequencies, or more likely that there is a harmonic. When we hit the frequency, there is a harmonic in the higher frequencies that are being created that might be in the microwave range. And that's very possible at the voltages that we are doing. There's effects, basically the difference between a razor blade and a magic marker, the thickness in which it has an effect over. So in the higher voltages and higher frequencies, you're going to get all these lower frequency harmonics as well as some high frequency harmonics, depending on what range you're in. And the inclusion of him using this literally tinfoil hat for safety, I've got a little problem with that. Maybe you got a headache from it and created this helmet. You can see the helmet in the right hand corner here. Maybe you got a headache and he created it. We can't get information about that. But the fact that he opted for any shielding at all kind of is telling. It kind of tells us the depth in which he's working in. Oh, you speak Russian, free thinker? Cool beans, man. I expect our American keyboards just simply don't have the Russian spelling, but you can use an Alt or a Control, and then that, I don't know how it would be done. Okay, but you've got it written there. Dude, do you think you can translate some of these technical terms he's using? Because he might use a technical term that comes out jelly bean or something like that it's misinterpreting what he's saying. But we're desperate in order to get the technical words straightened out here, because some of them are relating to like delta Y circuit, and the technical word that he's using would specify where you would tap off of a delta Y, okay, or which leg of a delta Y that you're dealing with, and that's been a little bit difficult in order to identify. Free thinker, I know. I'm sorry, I have a memory, better than a goldfish. So I know that you haven't been exactly friendly here, but at least you're being decent today. Thank you. God, I am excited about this happening. You have no idea. 3 major projects all coming together at the same time. That is incredible. And how appropriate this song. This is Smashing Pumpkins today. mods being rather selective, so I appreciate that. Thank you. And yes, we have secret mods here now. That's a little bit going out there. Listen, people, I've also been invited in this build. This here's the schematics for it. Ha ha ha. Well, you go ahead and run, dude. You go ahead and run. Either I'm naive enough in order to trust the people I'm working with, and that would be a negative, or I am confident because of the work that I've already done. One of the two. Okay? And you want to know something? I have a viable product. Who said that you ever was privileged to it? I've gently revealed what that product is, haven't I? Admit it. Here it is right here, folks. Li-Fi. Right now there's 34,000 people watching Li-Fi Hip Hop Radio. And I have shown you gently. I haven't shown you the final product. I showed you the elements of the build. Now, is this whatever entertaining to you? No. It isn't made for the 10 or 20% of conspiracy theories. This is 100% general interest. 100% general interest. Compare that with this.
Mark, I'm afraid he won't come any closer while we're around. said Sam. If you want him to have that food, you better go away from it.
Same thing. Just
Mark
simply
reluctantly
adds a
backed
story.
away with his father. The dog approached
Matter of
the
fact,
food,
I just noticed that my
finally
music
rushing
is in
down
the
upon it
background.
as
Let
if
me
the
go
food
ahead and
would
put that
escape
back in.
And gobbled.
I have
In the
problems
days that
because
followed,
this is a
they
remote
continued to
server.
feed
The
it,
remote server
and the animal
is
became relatively tame.
reset all
He
too
stopped
often.
barking at them,
And
at
I have to go
times,
back
let
in
Mark
because
come within
there's
a
more
few
than
feet
one
of him.
person using the
He never
server,
allowed
and
Mark
it
to
is
come close enough to
also
touch
part
him,
of the
and
bill.
especially wary of Sam. So we can't find out
let's
what his
see
name
here.
is,
Where'd it go?
but there was
Said
nothing
Mark in
around the
disappointment.
smooth-furred neck.
Here,
The
Prince,
collar,
here.
if it had ever
Spot,
existed,
here.
had evidently
Oh, I
been
get it.
worn away. The animal answered to
So
none
we
of the
can't find out
traditional
what his
dog
name
names,
is,
nor
said
to
Mark
several
in
of the newer
disappointment.
ones that Mark recalled.
Here, Prince, here.
After the dog had been with
it's
him
this
for
one I
half an
need.
hour or so, he usually trotted off in the direction of what they had come to consider his lair.
Yeah, I know the,
Nor to
the
several
audios
of the
are
newer
mixing.
ones.
Don't worry
Getting
about it.
tame enough for a pet, said
After
Sam.
the dog had been with them
That's
for
one
half an
idea.
hour or so.
I'm afraid
Usually
you'll have to
trotted
give
off
up
in
in the direction of what they had come
All
to
he
consider
needs is a little
his
more
lair.
time,
Said Mark. He doesn't seem
He's
to be
getting
getting
used to
tame
it.
enough for a pet, said
Then
Sam. A sudden fear
that's
struck
one
him,
idea,
and he
I'm
added,
afraid
you'll have to give up.
You're not going to leave here yet, are you, Pop?
All he needs is
I
a
thought
little
you
more
wanted to
time.
And
some
working
big
like
animals.
this, it's a lot
He's
of
getting
lag
used to me.
There aren't any other big animals.
because I'm still on
suddenly replied Sam,
satellite.
and he added, just those small ones who came
You're not
apart
gonna
in the
leave here
traps,
yet, are you,
and
Pop?
they're not worth
I thought
catching.
you wanted to catch some big
But
animals.
I'll stay. This place is
There
as
aren't
good as
any
any
other
other
big animals,
I won't
replied
leave it
Sam.
yet. Just those small ones
In
who
fact,
came apart
to
in the
stay on the
traps,
planet,
and they're
bleak
not
as
worth
the
catching.
place was,
But
seemed to be
I'll
less
stay.
un-
This
There we
place
go.
is as good as any other. I won't leave it yet.
Yeah, there we go.
In fact, to stay on the planet, bleak as the place was, seemed to be less
So,
unpleasant
you
than
compare
cruising
those two.
aimlessly through space.
I can throw music on just like they can. Just like they can. No problem whatsoever. Not concerned about the product. I've got plenty of product. Your opinion's wonderful, but it's in that 10%. You lose 80 to 90% of your audience when you are outside the general interest category. And any of the conspiracy theory things are outside of the general interest category. The only way that we're going to be able to introduce them to the general public, the same way that they're introducing misinformation through the media, is to attract that 80% audience, okay, instead of the 20% audience. And if you think that's a mess, well, you have no insight, no, you haven't been given where that goes, but you should be smart enough in order to figure it out. Yes, they are. Many of them are there for the chat. General topic, easy, nothing stressful in the chat. Absolutely. Now imagine that boiled down to only local. Only local. Only people in your hometown that are logging in to that same thing. Now, and along with that information, there's also going to be things that you can do with your kids on a Saturday night or a Saturday afternoon when you want Saturday night to yourself. You want to run down the kids a little bit. We're going to have all the, oh no, it's focused directly on the community. Something you're not. Providing a service for the community. I don't see anyone else doing that. I wouldn't call that a mess. But you know something? We already know that you've aligned yourself to anything that I say. If 2 + 2 = 4, you're going to get out the Common Core method and prove me wrong, huh? All right. Well, even a broken clock is right twice a day, dude. So, you see, these are the same people that said I wouldn't last 4 months out here on YouTube, and I've been here for 4 years instead on YouTube. I've been doing this kind of work most of my life for everyone else, and I've done it well enough for them in order to make a commercial living off of it. Now we're going to step that up. I'm going to put myself at the top of the list, and I've done that. Surprise. Meanwhile, there's 2 projects that I have now, WDRN and this anti-gravity. I have an insight, I believe, that will produce results, because I can see what's actually happening. I have a diagram, a working diagram that actually defies conventional description, and I've been able to describe it in other ways. So that's absolutely taking off. I've managed to meet and greet alien scientists. If you're not familiar with alien scientists, he's MIT grad, physics. His math, normally people that go to college and learn this kind of math, there's very few people that will actually use that math afterwards, and they forget it. They forget how to use it, because it's not something that they're doing on a regular basis. Him, on the other hand, he is rehearsed in the math. When he got down to Tesla Tech, he didn't want to hear any of he wanted to hear nothing but numbers. He wanted to see the formula. He wanted to be able to make that formula and document that formula across the scientific fields with a scientific paper. Okay, approaching it from a laboratory standard. And when he said that, it actually filled in the rest of the gaps. We have a working team, okay, that's very well capable of taking on these topics, from cold fusion to rotating magnetic lifters, scientifically, and have materials, the logistics, and the final paper documenting our findings, all of which were there, but none of these teams are open to the public. This will be possibly the first team that is open to the public and publishing directly the results, rather than going through corporate hoops and trying to figure out, what they'll allow and what not. We also have the website now that will be focusing and be able to produce these things, whether they're censored on major platforms or not. One thing that you cannot censor is education. You can't prove someone that has an education or knowledge, and you can't sit there and take away from someone's education and knowledge. And that education and knowledge is shared across the board. Our frustration with our government, for example, is your experience, your education and knowledge, right? And it's not adding up. They can't determine a standard in which to describe this, in which to describe the vaccines, etc. They have clearly deceived us on several aspects and facets of this COVID thing. And the mainstream media and higher powers to be, if you want to call it higher as in money, don't want us to talk about it. And they control the input and output of all these different platforms. Well, we're going to be taking their platforms and using them as pipelines. All of our technical load is going to be on YouTube. You'll never see our broadcast on YouTube, but all the technical load is called pipelining. There's nothing in the rules, laws, regulations, or policies to prevent us from doing that. It would probably be one of the best lawsuits if YouTube tried to remove our channels that we're using for pipelining. It would probably be one of the best lawsuits that we would win ever. And YouTube should know better. We've already done that legal. MIT, dude. Now, he may have also graduated at Bridgewater, but I actually followed him when he was actually in school at MIT. So I don't know why you come out here with that misinformation. No, he is not. He is not what? A graduate? Man, you are an idiot. And you're projecting in here a negative. Why would you say anything against alien scientists? You're a fucking moron. You see, you keep trying to knock my credibility by saying someone else's credibility can't have it. And it's obvious. These techniques won't work in a single channel. They might work for the mainstream media with more than one demographic for audience. That's possible, but the bullshit, the methodology of your bullshit is not going to survive here. I don't think you have a channel that you can demonstrate any of this stuff. Quasi-crystals and photonic circuits. I don't think you're going to be able to touch it, dude. None of this. How about all of this in 60 seconds? How about all of it in 60 seconds? Here you go. Trivia, dude. He attended MIT. He graduated from someplace else. There was a period of about 4 years that I lost track of him. I was offline. So at the time that I had met him, he was actually attending MIT. Now, you can question my experience, but you're not going to question his, okay? And it's not a matter of an interesting guy. Oh, well, he's the most interesting guy. You know, he drinks the Kaseki. No, I'm sorry, that's not the case either. The fact is, he has put himself in the hot seat plenty of times. I mean, on a major scale. He makes the Cure Team 10 look iffy. This here is his trip to Roswell. You can check out his channel. Go ahead and post this in there. But nonetheless, there's people out there considering having me work materials and fabrication for one of these builds. I'm in. I don't care if I'm broke. Dude, you have any idea? It's not what you got in the bank, it's what you do. Don't you realize that? You know, and I have been studying this stuff since I was 8 years old. I have a really good handle on where the misinformation is. I may not have the right information, but I know exactly what not to do. That I can go through documents and identify deliberate misdirection in those documents, whether they be legal documents, technical documents. That's what I do for a living, dude. I use the true, false, if and or, greater than, lesser than, Boolean algebra logic. And I've been able to use that and apply Occam's razor in order to solve problems, and that is what I do the best. I get experience in a particular situation, field, or scenario, and I will solve the problem. That is why I've been hired by a lot of people. It's just simply that I will find a way around a problem. Okay? And the fact that I'm good at it. That's the only reason why these people would have any interest in me whatsoever. It's because of my real past, my real history. History that's worthy of mention. Not something that is questionable from the get-go. So, well, guess what? I am in the professional world, and I just got hired based on it. It's interesting that you would try to prepare me like you would a 15-year-old for his first job at the baseball field, giving out what? Helping at the concession stand, filling up people's glasses, and they're only 14, and you would sit there and try to talk to me in that manner, huh? Dude, I don't even know if you're my elder. Okay, I take direction, dude. You'd be surprised at how many changes, slow and subtle, that the trolls have provided me with problems. Yeah. And you want to know something? I've worked my way around every single one of them. First of all, the trolls really, that's all they are. They're standalone, negative people that you wouldn't want to be around in social environment anyway. And they don't have any videos. Who the fuck is that comes to mind? Who the fuck are you in order to question somebody that is proven in these fields? Proven value. You know, that's the difference. They have no proven value. I do. So, that's the difference. And I'm not backing down from any of it. I'm not backing down. I'm not stopping. I'm not allowing financial situations to get in my way. I'm not allowing somebody that is just full of negativity in order to ruin or, you know, basically pissing my Wheaties. Ruin my work. No, dude. You know, everybody that I've tried to help, okay, even though they may come up with a different conclusion, which unfortunate recently happened, Ooh, hey, we got noodles for you guys tonight. Oh, I have found something that all the animals just love the shit out of. And you know what that is? Just simple noodles. They love Roman noodles. They love chicken noodle soup. And I've got chicken noodle soup here. Double noodles for our specials at night. I'm changing their diet just a little bit to be a little bit richer. They still get their cat food. They still get, you know, the dry food. And those you're going to love. Yes, Thunder, that's exactly what it is. Those are for Thunder. But it's not yummy time yet. You have to wait until tonight in order to get yummies. But I went down and I found double noodle Campbell soup. And let me tell you something. The cats are loving it. I think it might have helped them because the yes, you're a good boy. The litter box is not an issue. They're not, you know, doing great big meow out of the bathroom or anything like that, trying to pass. It's soft. It keeps everything else soft. The broth they love. And it has little pieces of chicken just their size, you know, in order to eat. And I actually like how that turned out. Jeremy talks about having taken a course on cold fusion in 2015 at MIT, but taking a course is not graduating. Well, he graduated the course. My guess is what he misremembering. Dude, graduating the course is the same thing as graduating, okay? Go stick your... Dude, it's better to have your head up your ass, I guess, than stuck up a pig's butt. Better to have your head up your own ass than stuck up a pig's butt. Quite literally, it's semantics. And that's the only argument you have. I'd place him equal, if not greater, to any of the graduates, because there's a big difference of actually learning these things and being able to quote them. I mean, look how many people in First Amendment people are quoting the First Amendment, but do they actually realize that religion, free speech, and the press are all involved in that? And they don't recognize it. But to understand it, you're not going to find a higher understanding of these things than alien scientists. Yeah, that's true. Again, the only thing he wants to do is cast doubt, and there isn't much he can do, is there? All he can do is cast doubt, and he's not anything that does any more. He doesn't, you know, remove doubt. He just casts it. Cast doubt on this, cast doubt, but he doesn't remove doubt. Meaning, what does he depend on? Other people's doubt, other people's vulnerabilities. Wait a minute. That's predatory. The question is, what is he trying to win? I think when you ask that question, what is his actual purpose? What is he doing here? The only thing they've ever done here is delay something that everyone agrees needs to be done. And just simply because he doesn't like the person doing it, he's going to scrap everyone else's needs and things like that by casting doubt. That's what he does. Well, then you wouldn't have casted doubt. You would have actually went out and instead of presenting it as a catch-all, you would have presented it, oh yeah, he did go to MIT. Huh. And then you admit that he went to MIT. I admitted to falling out with him for about 4 years and not tracking him. But you came in here with absolutes that I had to be wrong. It's a big difference in approach, dude. It's always a sunny side and a dark side. You have missed every bit of silver in those linings. I'll tell you that right now. It's amazing how wrong I can be, and yet I can still continue. You can't continue, and yet you become wrong all the time. If only because of the desire of what you are trying to accomplish. What I'm trying to accomplish is people making money. That's not making me necessarily money, but benefiting them. Getting this formatted in a way that looks like the old YouTube, so it has function again. And getting people in this program. And this is just part 1 of maybe 10 steps. It's all huge, monstrous. It's just the first step. And I have the confidence in order to take it to that step and go on to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps. And again, even though Friends in Code decided that he was going to be standalone, host this out of his house, the concept, and somebody already got all of this in place. I've got to do some new banners. I'm going to create new buttons for it, a new title bar, so I need graphics for a title bar, I need graphics for the header, and I need graphics that are only Freedom Nation TV graphics. And again, we have videos in here that are just placekeepers to monitor how this here is working at the present time. The SSL needs to be mounted into this, and I'm not sure how to mount the SSL. That's what destroyed me. I was able to get formats and stuff like that to display, and then I got wrapped up in the displays. This particular template popular videos, you see what needs to be done is I need a frame here, popular videos raised up to here, up into this space here, and then go down the right side like YouTube does. The left hand bar needs to be created for the channel. There's some of the things here for format that needs to be rearranged. Now, let's see here. Yeah, there's a lot of internals that need to be connected here, but the fact is, he is up and running, he's working, and these internals, whoever's doing them, I'm going to talk to, and we're going to short this out so it's actually functional. One of the things that we have here is a featured video at home. This here is going to be replaced with the live broadcast, which is going to have samples of everyone's submissions, possibly random when we first start out, because we won't have that many people submitting right away. But this will be a 24-hour broadcast here, and we'll be drawing from everyone's videos. So if you submitted to this platform, we have instead of a just viral videos or suggestions, we actually have the highest point that you can get in the platform, and you can be featured on the highest point to all viewers. Okay, and when we get up to 1,000 people that are all submitting at the same time, we're going to have to use a different format rather than selecting videos at random in order to play there along with their... Come here. Yeah, is it time for more cat? Yeah, I haven't sat for, you know, this long in the bus. They just see me at the end of the day and stuff. Now they can bother me at any time again, and I'm going to be getting that. And Thunder just needs his lovin'. He needs to be told he's a good boy, and the ear scratching and doing the baby and be talked to. Whether I'm talking to him or the audience, he don't care, just as long as he thinks he's getting the attention. Yes, sirree, my good boy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, and he only has the patience for a baby for about a minute. So I try to let him down before he runs out of patience. That way he wants to do it again. It gets a little bit longer each time. And he's going to come back and bother me. He's going to try to get in that nice sweet spot. Anyway, no, I'm always wrong, dude. There you go. You got the admission. Everything that I say is a lie. Everything I conclude is wrong. And there you go. Now you got your confession. You can stop with the negativity. But yeah, I need to get a hold of the guy today concerning this. And we're going to have a server, which is going to be our second server. It's going to be hosted out of Hawaii. That's going to be hooked up before the end of the week. So that's all that's going on, folks. You want to check it out. The links are in the chat. That is your 2 hours, even though it may not seem that way. Norm, this is an entire white YouTube platform. This is the link for it. This is everything that I was trying to explain to friends in code. This has actually got a commercial server rather than one that you're running from your house, which means that so-called bandwidth, even if you have a terabyte bandwidth, you know, you get 10,000 hits, dude, all in the next 10 minutes. You're shut down. You have to have a variable expandable platform. All of it is right here. About 80% of what Friends in Code is complete. Now it comes me. Presentation, arrangement, flow. And that's what I do. And God, this is huge. And it's only happened, all this has only happened in the last week and a half. That's it. I found a place to live. I'm not employed yet by this company. Okay? That hasn't even been discussed yet. What pay and stuff like that. I am supposed to be able to technically create the pipelines, show people the formats in order to how to use the pipelines, how they're laid out, how to go through StreamYards in order to multiplex the platform, different free programs otherwise. And I have to get the pipeline running. Yes, it's completely underground. YouTube is going to provide us with 90% of our bandwidth. You may not realize you're watching something based off of YouTube, or the fact that we're pipelining on YouTube. But guess what? YouTube allows embedding. And as soon as I go in here, I'm going to replace this window right here with an embedded file from YouTube. And to prove that the connections in the pipeline works, I'm going to be showing I'm going to be showing story time just as a placeholder. In addition, you notice that I have 2 live broadcasts right now on one channel. I think I can expand that broadcast up to 5 broadcasts per channel. We're going to have relaxing music, much like Li-Fi. We're going to have story time. We're going to have rock and roll. We have country. And we're going to have a chat or a feature for talk shows. And there's going to be a total of at least 3 broadcasts per location that are all separate locations and separate broadcasts that are brought back into Freedom TV. And they're all going to be 24 hours. And your region should be this next thing here, whether you are in Colorado, Florida, Hawaii, or whatever, for your local broadcast. And then after you go there, you can go to your hometown for a live broadcast hosted in your town with everybody that you can go down and actually go to have breakfast somewhere. You're going to be sitting with these same people in your hometown, lending to the word of mouth advertising, because everybody that no, I'm beyond undisclosed is going to be reduced to just beyond undisclosed. That much I know, because the marketing on that and the ability, it just looks clean. It needs to stay pretty much like it is. If you notice on the videos, I've taken all the morning shows out. This one will be removed after I'm done. Okay, so you can join and you can see the live show, which is great, but the live videos that I'm doing are going to be pulled back. That way you do have only beyond undisclosed, striking underground tunnels and trains, beyond undisclosed when the technology, okay, become undisclosed. That was around 1964 when they started putting the caps on it. Now, in 1958, they stopped teaching the science in high school completely. So this is strictly going to be beyond undisclosed, and samples of it. What is money? There's going to be, well, this one I need to remove. I thought that was a green screen for a green screen background. This was me out one of the locations we're going to be filming. But I thought that was a green screen. That doesn't belong up here. I'm going to be pulling my green screens and the share stuff that I'm doing all into one channel. I'm going to have the cats, the dog, all the raws for the green screens in one channel. I'm going to have all the UFO stuff in Beyond. And when I get this running, when I do go live, okay, I will be live on all of these channels for the 2-hour show. It's huge. I mean, we're talking about commercial bandwidth, the whole 9 yards, with direct remote, just like I'm using the one in Chicago, but that one is more like Friends in Code. It's very limited. There's more than one person that is using it, and any of like 7 different people have full access to admin, so they can actually reset the server. When they reset the server, all the other servers reset with it, meaning that I have to go back into that server, restart the broadcast, reset up the playlists, and that can happen. It has happened 3 times in a single day. And sometimes I catch it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes, story time goes down and it'll be, a day or so before I can even get back into the server, and all that's ended. All of that has come to a dead stop. Man, my hair is getting long. I like that. Yes, I'll be able to actually look like I should have a guitar in my hand again. Someone actually last week wants me to pick up guitar, and they have a bass. God, they have a bass. It's a 6-string bass. They want $100 a string, and I want that 16 bass for 2 reasons. One, to go ahead and learn how to play bass again, but more importantly, there's another way you can set up a 6-string bass. You can set it up as a regular 6-string guitar. It's an octave or so lower, okay, but that doesn't mean anything. That just means that you don't have the extreme high E, from Eddie Van Halen. That's it. You can play a 6-string bass guitar the same way you can play a regular guitar. And my hands, the size of my hands, I can grip a basketball. Trying to get my finger on a 6-string guitar in between that and hit the right fret without a fuzz, almost impossible. I can't manipulate the, I have to go to a next scale up. The only scale up is slightly larger than what I'm built for, and that's a 6-string guitar. So I'm going to have to learn how to do all my stretches and relearn all my songs again an octave lower. So that's, that's play. That's after I get this thing done and I'm invited by a band in order to, participate with them. Oops. Yeah, that doesn't belong in that. So I'm cleaning up the channels. I'm getting rid of all the hubbub. I'm getting rid of the troll fodder. And the only thing left is what? Content. So I am cleaning this up a little bit. And again, like I said, I'm expanding across so many different boards. I don't even have a notebook in order to bring all these things together. Believe me, I carry a notebook, or a notebook is nearby me. I come up with a thought. I spend most of the day thinking about these things, getting them in line, lining them up, and getting them ready. And I'll be carrying my notebook forever now, because I've got a lot of things that need to be considered, looked at, and rearranged. Again, this is not anything that everyone else is doing. They've just never put it in one package. And I'm trying to get this packaged into one unit. After I do that, mechanically, it has everything CNN has. Multiple outputs, East Coast, West Coast broadcasts that are separate. In addition, yes, I'll be moving everything over here too. This is going to be the home. Okay, now WDRN is marketing and technical support. That's all we are. Okay, the concept is to provide technical support for broadcasters in production, editing, and distribution. Production, editing, and distribution is the only thing WDRN pays attention to. We don't pay attention to whether it's content. It doesn't matter what content it is. It just simply needs to fall within the general interest categories And you have to be a member of WDRN to get those services. But the technical services can and will be including actual investors for actual productions that you have been working on, and you have a concept, you're breaking into the industry. Sure, there's going to be people out there that are going to invest in getting that show out there. One of the things that I want to do as soon as that avenue opens up, the first person I'm approaching is, believe it or not, Stunt Dummy. Okay, some of his madcap practical solutions and needed common knowledge. He's actually broadcasting these things. How to change a tire without a machine. How to do it manually with tools and a crowbar. That information needs to be out there, because we're not going to have some of this stuff. And used to be changing a tire, whether it be a split wheel or otherwise, used to be common knowledge. You could trust your 14-year-old, your 12-year-old to go out there and change the tire on your car and be able to swap the tire with the new tire and put it on the car. Managed to get that on the car. Ladies and gentlemen, we've become so machine dependent that a lot of people think that the only way to get your tire fixed is to go to the gas station or to a tire shop. It's the privilege of education, folks. Whether you have that education should be mandate, and then you choose and whether you're going to have that time in order to actually do that yourself or hire somebody else. But that common knowledge, people, that ain't out there. And people like Stunt Dummy has discovered that and is starting to make shows based on common knowledge. Trade secret, which hasn't been trade secrets for 100 years, but now they're becoming that because nobody knows how to do these basic things. They just simply haven't ever been told. You barely teach your kid, your daughter, when they buy a car, you'll sit down and you'll have them change the tire on their car. But that's just the spare out of the trunk. It's only 5 lugs and a jack. That's not much of a lesson, folks. And if you think that's all you need to know, turning your daughter loose with that car, it's going to be a lot more than that you want to teach them, right? And how to get out of a snow drift, how to sit there and use a tire, okay, that's just spinning, and how to use a strap around that tire so that when the tire spins, it picks up on that strap and pulls you out instead of leaving you there. There's a lot of different little tricks that you can learn with come-alongs, okay, that you don't need a tow truck. And you know something, people aren't sharing that anymore. I learned how to take a car out using come-alongs. Just had a come-along in the strap in the trunk. It was just barely long enough to make it to a telephone pole. Okay, how do you sit there and wrap your tire in order to become a winch? Do you know how to do that? You know, they do it all the time in the Philippines. They'll take a tire off. They have a homemade gear or something that they'll put on there, or put a strap around it and drive other equipment. They come home after they're done, they have to park their vehicle, take the tire off, and put the equipment back on. So they have what? Electric generator. There's a lot of different things in the Philippines. They do very practically still, and it's common knowledge for an 8-year-old, 7-year-old, in order to sit there and stick his fingers in something that he could lose his whole arm in, or handle a 700, 800 pound farm animal. Now we sit there and call it child abuse. If you sit there and teach a kid how to sit there and put a saddle on a horse, oh my God, that horse could have killed the kid. Fucking snowflakes. The difference and the reason why these things are safe or unsafe is the knowledge that we have and the knowledge that we carry. If you don't know nothing about guns, gun safety means you leave the gun alone. If you do have knowledge of guns, gun safety means that there's not one in the chamber and the fact that you have the safety on at all times when you're not shooting it. How about that for gun safety? It's because it's separated by what? Knowledge. Knowledge in how to safely handle these things. So that's what we're trying to do. And guess what? I'm not the one doing those videos. Everyone else is. And they're not being seen, folks. People are not seeing these videos. Why? Everything is choked down and funneled through corporate takeovers. Well, anybody that's involved in WDRN, sure, we can have somebody set up a server in a town like Denver or something like that and still subscribe to our services. And these people that are subscribing to our services could believe in censorship. They can believe in all these other things and run their own server and use us as a technical support. But that's not the people that we're actually hoping, and the only influence that person is going to have, regardless of how good they are with censorship, is what? Just that one server, that one standalone server, and they're right back to where what? Friends and Code are now. They're standalone. Sure, they have Friends and Code in order to arrange the technical support for them, but guess what? They've already limited themselves to 20% of the actual audience out there, and out of that 20%, you're lucky to get 1% of that for a viewership. You follow our recommendations, you're going to get more than that. We're going to get the word out there. This concept and the hierarchy, the cash flow, the data flow, and the pipelining, it took me a better part of 1.5 years in order to work out. Just like I have dual broadcast right now on Wicked Development, okay, with Beyond Undisclosed. I have 2 broadcasts going right this second. Nobody else has that. Nobody else is doing that. I've never found 2 broadcasts live on a single channel before. And you know something? I'm happy to know the secret of that. I have a secret. I can run two live streams simultaneously. Look at that. So, yeah, it's taken this long in order to learn how to do these things. And we're going to be maxing it out now. The question is whether or not it's going to take another 6 months in order to get everyone on the same page, or whether it's going to take 2 months to get everyone on the same page. These things don't happen overnight, and you have to have the determination, belief in yourself in order to accomplish these things. And you can't let people that are otherwise 100% known for being a troll put you down. Smashing Pumpkins, 1979. This is where we're going to start, folks. This is where we're going to start.
Shaped out 1979. Cool kids never had the time.
All right, thank you for tuning in, folks. Been wonderful. Even the trolls. You want to know something, guys? You want to keep up with me, I'm sorry. You're just eating dust anymore. There's no way of bringing me down now. Sorry.
5 to 1 against and falling, 4 to 1 against and falling, 3 to 1, 2, 1, probability factor of 1 to 1. We have normality. I repeat, we have normality. Anything you still can't cope with is therefore your own problem. Please relax.